over, and the bigger, the faster, the longer that we can play, the more aggressive we will be, because we like to play certainly in a bold style. So having guys with length and speed and the run and hit factor, that's a big part of it.
That was Dan Quinn. This is Footsdaking. It's over, y'all. What a process. And before I get to any of the breakdowns, I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Thank you for rocking with, all the YouTubers. Like, we all need all of your guys' support. You guys have been running the views up. And shout out to all the homies, man. Vosh, Joe, Jeff Kavanaugh's in the YouTube community now. Law Nation. OG Shango was on the other day. Shango really is that dude. Mark Holmes. We've done work together in the past. We did the draft trip 3 years ago. Like, I love this time of year because this is where team building happens. And though we may not always agree on stuff, guys, I've seen a lot of you people, I've seen a lot of folks in the comments saying, you know what, guess what, Foots? You kind of talked me off the edge. I appreciate you, this, that, and the third. So that means a lot to me. 11 picks, 8 on the defensive side of the ball. And we're going to talk to it. We're going to talk about it, more or less. And I think that it's important to keep in mind plan. Like, it was very interesting how Cowboys fans kind of carried things when picks didn't go our way. But we have to understand, that's the draft. Like, it's clear this team doesn't value safety the same way that I do. But guess what? It's okay. You can still win football games without an elite safety. You can, especially the way that Dallas tried to build. You heard Dan Quinn. I think you guys would do yourself justice to go watch his press conference. I think he was very sharp. I think he has a plan, and it's clear why Dallas hired him, and it's clear why he's been a successful defensive coordinator in this league, defensive line coach, defensive coordinator in this league. He has a plan. He talked multiple times about we have a plan for each player. We know exactly how we want to play each player. They talked about, the 6th-round corner playing safety. He talked about length. He talked about speed. And that's how they wanted to attack this draft. And I think it's very important that we keep that in mind. Sometimes the players that we want, hell, it was players like Ardarius Washington and Marvin Wilson who didn't even get drafted. It's just how the cookie crumbles, guys. That's the draft, And what we can't do is be so, they had this person on the board. Who cares if the controversial pick, let's be honest. It's right. That was the guy from Oregon State. Nobody wanted this player. We had other corners on the board, this, that, and the third, but it's clear that those players did not meet Dallas's and Quinn's threshold, and that's okay. But what we can't do is we got to remember these are kids. So the way that folks treated Micah Parsons when he got drafted, like he's never been good. Yes, the concerns are there, but we got wiped out of our corners. I like Rashawn Slater. The Cowboys love Micah Parsons. It is what it is. They've said that they might have taken Parsons over one of the corners. If he pans out, which was a need. Linebacker was a need. The middle of our defense was not good. We didn't attack the flats well. Jalen Smith was a constant liability. So what does Dallas do? They go out and address linebacker. And as I get to these prospects, you guys it'll all make sense, and hopefully it does. But we can't, the day of call this a bad draft because they didn't draft a player that you don't know or that you as a fan don't have a plan for. That's not fair. So, I just want you guys to keep that in mind. That I really like this draft. I'll give my grade at the very, very end, but I really, really like this draft. All right, I'm going to go through each pick. I'm not going to be long-winded because do the homework, guys. Make it make sense for yourself. I've been watching film. My eyes are burning. I'm burning the midnight oil, but I wanted to make sure while my thoughts were fresh, while I had the notes. Look at this, guys. Look at all these notes. Hopefully you guys are, yes, sir. Look at all these notes. While I had the notes on the screen, those are just my notes that I put, and I put them on the screen on the ticker. This is what I thought. So let's get into pick 1. Well, round 1, pick 12, Micah Parsons. Listen, he comes in. He's going to be an instant upgrade as far as speed and playmaking ability, a blitzer. He's a guy that he can come off the edge. He can come up A, B, and C gap. When you stunt and you bring it back, he's going to get home. I got a buddy who plays at Penn State. I told you guys this the night he was drafted. He told me that Micah Parsons would just blow up inside run period because he was just that dynamic and athletic. If the off the field is done with the the hazing situation was a real thing. If that's over with and he's ready to just be a pro, and he's a young kid, like kids make mistakes, it's fine. I think that you got a stud linebacker who is going to be on the field instantly, making plays, running around, being a freak athlete, and being fitting in that mode as to what Dallas wants to do. Play fast, what Dan Quinn outlined in that interview. Play fast, play physical. I love the pick. I really, really do. Rashawn Slater wasn't picked, but this pick it makes sense for what Dallas wants to do. Round 2, pick 44, Kelvin Joseph. Fat man boss. I was calling him fat man school. I've been calling him all this stuff, but it's fat man boss. Silky smooth. He plays like butter, man. He does. I mean, stays in phase. Now, the off the field concerns. Listen, gone are the days of choir boys and Boy Scouts on this team. Kids may have a little issues, more or less, off the field. Can he play football? Kelvin Joseph can play football. If you would have told me that you would have Micah Parsons, Kelvin Joseph, and Jabril Cox in the same draft, I would have laughed at you. Kelvin Joseph is a starter in this league. I think he's an instant upgrade from Anthony Brown. He has the length. He has the ability to stay in phase. That when you watch his film, you'll just notice that he's in phase. He's never in a bad predicament. He doesn't play out of control. He doesn't panic when routes are being developed. And I've said it time and time again. I think he's Tre'Davious White. That's my comp for him. I'm not going to back off of it. This guy is a big-time football player, and he's going to help the Dallas Cowboys. He really is. Round 3, pick 75, Osa Odigizua. Former wrestling. He has a wrestling background. UCLA defensive tackle. He's going to come in. He's going to compete. He gives you a lot of flex. Not flex, depth, more or less. And some flex along that defensive line. Could play the 1, could play the 3. He can get up the field, too. 11 sacks throughout his career as a 3-tech. I think that's pretty good. Physical. Uses his hands well. That's where that wrestling background comes into play. I like the player, guys. And it's clear that Dallas went D-line. They made that run on D-line, DN for reasons when they got to the 4th round that makes sense, and that'll probably be my pick of this draft. But I like Osa. The UCLA tie is real between McCarthy and UCLA, so it is what it is. Chauncey Golson, round 3, pick 84. Chauncey Golson, defensive end, Iowa. Listen, I think that this player has length. He's not a bendy guy, but Dan Quinn clearly spoke about he has a plan for this player. He sounded very excited about him. He's a captain. It's just something about Iowa players that I love. I think they just know football. I think they're doing some good things with that program, and I just think that he will instantly come in and contribute on rundowns. I'm not ready to say he's better than Bradley and I because I had such good hopes for Bradley and I, but I do think he's better than Dorrance Armstrong. I think he comes in and he helps immediately. Round 3, pick 99. This is the pick that everybody hated. Nashawn Wright, excuse me. I was about to say, it's Nashawn Wright, yeah. No, it's Nashawn Wright. I got to spell wrong on here, guys, but I know the player. Oregon State DB, 6'4", ran the 4.4, but nobody likes him. Fast, speed, and he has cover ability. Go ask Jeff Kavanaugh. He admitted it. I like this player. Cover 3 corner. I like his confidence. And I love the fact that Dallas doubled down on 2 positions on the defensive side of the ball. This defense was atrocious. So guess what? They said, we're going to throw numbers at these positions and let the best man win. That's what you do. You make these guys compete. I like the right pick. Could they have went Molden? Could they have went one of these other corners that were hanging around? Sure they could have. But they didn't fit Dallas's mold, and Dallas isn't going to try to fit a circle into a square peg. No, they just weren't going to do that this year, and I don't blame them. I really don't. In a year where the draft is, where this whole process was so unpredictable, I think they did the right thing. All right, guys, let's go round 4, pick 115. To me, pick of the year. Not of the draft, of the year. Well, yeah, it's the draft. Whatever. Jabril Cox. I had a second round grade on this guy, and I could not believe that he was still there in the fourth round, and Dallas had to turn the card in. This is one of those. I can see doubling down at linebacker, but the fact that you double down and you got a stud, like, this by far was the best pick, one of the best pick of the drafts when you talk about value. And I just think that he's going to come in, be a special teams ace right away, and when he gets his opportunity, he's going to cover and blanket tight ends. He's going to blanket linebackers. Him and Micah Parsons are the future of this defense, in the middle of this defense. They really are. It's going to be fun to watch those two grow and compete together. It's clear what's happening. It's clear that Leighton Vander Esch's option probably will not get picked up, and Jalen Smith probably will not be on the field. Can you imagine Jabril Cox, Micah Parsons, and Keanu Neal? Because I can, and I'm excited about it. So you guys, man, I don't even need to go into length about this pick. Anybody who's been following the draft process or following me knows how much I like Jabril Cox. I just do. All right, guys, round 4, pick 138. This is another controversial pick, but again, this is Dallas moving on from Garrett Guys and getting good football players in, because Josh Ball can play tackle. He just can, man. He reminds me a lot of Doug Free. Had the off-the-field disaster with a young lady, and I won't go into detail about it, but it was a domestic violence situation. Hopefully that is completely behind him, and he's just ready to play ball. I think that it is. So let's hope that, coming in from Marshall, he started at Florida State. Coming in from Marshall, he'll be ready to go. But he can play. He'll start off. And when you heard Mike McCarthy in the press conference after the draft, he said you can tell that he was happy about this pick. We have plans for him at left tackle, but I think, and he was even talking about we want to try to work him to get him to the game day roster. So they have really high hopes for this pick. Hopefully he just doesn't mess it up, man. But I like the player. I think he's an instant swing tackle, and I think he's an instant upgrade over Terrence Steele, which that's not that hard to be, but still, it is what it is. And then to round out the rest of the draft, Semi Fehoko, wide receiver, Stanford, big body. I think that he's going to help in special team. He's a special teams ace, so I think he's going to help another fast player. Like, we literally drafted a track team. If you think about Kelvin Joseph's speed, Micah Parsons' speed, who was faster probably than every running back in his draft, which is crazy when you think about it. When you think about Nashawn Wright's speed, when you think about Jabril Cox speed, this is crazy the way that these guys can move. Quentin Bohannon, DT, just a one-tech, just a run-stuffing Jesse. That's just what he's going to do. Israel Makahoma, I messed his name up so many times. I'm just done with it. They talked about moving him to safety. The ball production is real. He has 6 interceptions at his time at South Carolina, playing with J.C. Horn. I think the talk of moving him to safety is a real thing. Quinn said it, Jerry said it, and I think it makes sense. They don't believe in drafting a true safety. That's their problem, not mine. But the guy has ball skills, so they're gonna try to make it work. Do your thing, Dallas. And then to round up the draft, pick 238, Matt Farnock. I'm messing these names up, guys. I'm tired. But I'm a push, baby. Nebraska. I'm not mad at it. You give me a Big Ten lineman, I'll say he has a chance to go out there and be physical. And Joe brought up a great point. Are they planning for an exodus of Connor Williams? So is this a depth pick? We'll see. 11 picks. I doubt all 11 make the team. Just is what it is. Somebody's going to slip up somewhere. Then you got the undrafted free agents. But all in all, I give this draft A-. I love this draft because I know that while we had dreams of our guys, Dallas came in with a plan and they made it work. And the Jabril Cox, if you would have ever told me that, listen, Jabril Cox, Kelvin Joseph, and Micah Parsons make your draft an A+. But then you have the character concerns and some of the, the curveball picks that drop it down to an A-. But those 3 players are starters in this league. They just are. So, Cowboys fans, you let me know what you think. That is my grade. That is my player eval for you guys. Thank you for rocking with me. Hit up the Cashapp, man. I've been working hard. I'm tired. Giving you guys my all. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to get this video out tonight. You guys send it around to family, friends. Let me know what you think, but don't panic, y'all, and don't be negative, because we're going to wake up and we're going to be playing good defense on Sundays. Like fast, physical defense on Sundays with a bunch of young guys out there flying around. That's exciting to me. It should be exciting to you. It's your boy Foots as always. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Peace.